Hey guys, thank you so much for getting on the DFG team call tonight. I know that it's a busy week for everyone, so just being here shows dedication, and I appreciate it. I want to welcome our lovely call host tonight. This is Courtney Muscatello, who will be dropping some wisdom on how to just keep going when it's tough. And if Courtney doesn't mind me saying, and I'm sure she doesn't, I think she's had just several roadblocks in her business over the past 2 years, has thought maybe this isn't for her over and over, doesn't really like, the competition of it, or what she feels like competition, just so many things that are negative, but she's seeing a lot of positive, so she just keeps going forward. So I'm going to just make it really short and turn it over to her because she can explain it a lot better. It's her life, her business. But I'm really looking forward to it. Courtney, thank you so much for being on.
Unmute myself now.
You're good.
Can everyone hear me? Nod, I guess. I can't see any of you, which is good because I kind of have a stage fright. So anyway, I'm glad I'm here. As she said, the last 2 years, my business have been very high ups and very low downs. And I think I go to Lindsay probably once every 2 months, like, I'm ready for this. And it's like, wait. I gotta wait for a minute. I'm not ready. So I want to give you kind of a background on where I started and what's been going on with me for the last 2 years. And then kind of go into how I bounce back, because I have gone over the last 2 years, I've kind of stopped my business and then go, and then stop and go and stop and go. And one important thing that I want to say is that consistency has a lot of different meanings. And when you see a lot of the DFG calls or even the bombshell calls, they say consistency, you never give up and you stay at a steady pace and you got to do the same thing all the time and you got to keep going all the time. You just got to keep doing it. And then I think most of you, if I'm not mistaken, are probably like me, is like, sometimes life just happens and you can't control it, and that consistency has a different meaning. And it's not that you're not being consistent, it's just, it means something different. So that's what this whole call is about. So just to give you kind of a background on me, I joined as a coach April of 2014. So about actually a year and a half, not quite 2 years. I joined a day before a wedding. And so Lindsay kind of, got me on the phone, and I was questioning this Beachbody thing, this Shakeology thing for a couple of months. And I knew I needed to make a change, but I didn't really know what that change would be. I didn't fit into my wedding dress, and that was one of the biggest motivators that I had for the fitness part of it. And so then I was like, well, there must be something different to this. I had done Mary Kay for a few years and thought, this isn't really for me. They're trying to make too many parameters. So I contacted Lindsay, found her on YouTube actually, and thought, this girl could be my friend. I like her. And so I became Emerald within 35 or 40 days. I became Diamond within 3.5 months. And then I stopped and I didn't do anything for a while. And then, I'm like, okay, I'm good with Diamond. That's good, And then I progressed. And then I started a new job. Oh, by the way, right before I joined, we had just moved to Florida. We had just left my job. So I had no job really. We had just thought about getting married, and we got a puppy within that first 30 days of me being a coach. So I had a whole bucket full of stuff. And to give you an idea, fast forward a year and a half, every time I started a new job, which is 3 in the last 2 years, mind you, I have stopped my business and I have started all over. And I lose my motivation for a while. And I think, why am I in this? What am I doing? This is crazy. I am not a nutrition expert. I know the very bare minimum. I'm not a fitness expert. And literally, I don't think I'm a very good leader because I'm not leading by example. And so sometimes I get in my head. And so, but every single time I really realize that I've been able to bounce back. And so that's why I'm here, is to let you know that sometimes life happens and you have to concentrate on life before your business. But the first thing I'll say is that that's why we're in this business, is that you want to be a Beachbody coach for many reasons, but one of it is for flexibility and for your life back. I know, Lindsay, you've always said this is why you are a coach, is so that you can live by your own rules. And, you know, some of the top 10 coaches, they give up a lot of their family time for their business. And, you know, Lindsay, you've always been very successful, and you've always like really put your heart into it more than anything. And it's come back to thank you. And it's not because, you know, you're giving up your family time, it's because you have the passion for it. So anyway, I'm going on a tangent. Okay, so I'm going to give you 10 tips if you want to get some pieces of paper or pen or anything. I'm going to tell you every single time I've started a new job, 3 times in 2 years. We've moved twice in that 3 years or 2 years. We've had a new puppy that had to have major attention, my major attention for the last maybe year because of her health issues. With Anthony starting new jobs, like we've had a lot of life stuff, and I know many of you don't know, my mom has been diagnosed with cancer, so like we've been dealing a lot with that too, and so it's like a lot of life stuff. But this is 10 tips on that you can take with you that helps you propel your business after you've hit rock bottom, or if you've thought this isn't for me. Because I've been there, I've done that multiple times, and I'm telling you that the good outweighs the bad. And here's my 10 tips. So number 1, accept your situation. It's okay to put your life first. It's okay to put your family first. It's okay to put your day job first. Don't beat yourself up for it. I know a lot of coaches are saying, you got to put your business number 1. But honestly, like I said before, this is why you're doing it. You need to be able to make sure that your life and your family are front runners to your business, because if they're not, and you know, I'll be very honest with you too, that I know I hear like little Andy in the back of my head right now. I think he's maybe on the call, but I can't see anybody but Lindsay and Joni and Amanda. A lot of you are very religious. So I'm going to put that in there, put God first. I'm not. I believe in God, but it's not like the front runner of my life. I pray, you know, He's there, believe in Him. But He's not my heart and soul for everything that I do. And I think a lot of people in this business are very religious, and I'm amazed by that. I love that. And I think that, you know, putting God first and putting your family first, putting your life first are very, very, very important things. So number 1, accept your situation. Number 2, the other day I had a big meltdown, and Anthony, my husband, can attest to this. I was making it very complicated. I was comparing myself to the top coaches. They're like, think like a top coach. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. Those top coaches do so much because they have a lot more time on their hands. And what you need to remember is that don't make it more complicated than it really is. Really just start with the basics. The basics are your 3 vital behaviors. You know, invite. Be a product of the product, and read your personal development. If nothing else, those 3 things will propel your business back into shape. So the basics to the basics. Host a new challenge group. You know, if you are kind of in a hole and you're like, I don't really know how to invite anybody anymore, host a challenge group. I am not the best at hosting challenge groups, because I will be the first to admit that in 2 weeks, if somebody's not responding, I'll stop writing. But, you know, Jessica Pasola is an amazing example of consistency in their challenge groups. Jessica's been posting like every single day for the last 6 months in this group where hardly anybody responds. And I think that's amazing, because I'm still noticing that she's doing that. People are going to notice your consistency, and people are going to see that you're posting. So hands up to you. But don't stop posting. Don't stop posting on social media. Somebody's watching you, and you don't know who it is all the time. So start with the basics, number 2. Number 3, don't overwhelm yourself. It's okay to ease back into it. I know if you're like going full force all the time, you can get really worn out by it. And I'm just going to give my own coach, Courtney, a shout out for this, is because she and I do this thing we were talking about the other day, where we go really hard, full force, hours a day doing this business, and then we get burnt out. and we're like, oh gosh, I gotta take a couple days off. This is really tiring. But don't be afraid to spend as little as 15 minutes in your business. I know they say power hour. You can get done a lot in 1 hour if you're very specific to it. If you have your computer in front of your face, if you know who you're going to target, 1 hour can actually do a lot for your business. 15 minutes, if you have it, is better than 0 too. But don't be afraid to spend 10, 15 minutes a day doing that. It's okay. Aim for an hour, and if you have 15 minutes, if your children need your attention or something, that's okay. So number 3, don't overwhelm yourself. Pace yourself. Number 4, find something to get excited about. I think this is should be my number 1, really. There's not really an order, I guess, but number 4, find something to get excited about. Whether it's a new program, Hammer and Chisel just came out. How many of you have gotten that? I'm starting it January 4th. Get excited about it. 21 Day Fix came out last year, and I was gung-ho about that. New performance line, buy one of those and try it out and just get really excited about it. A new product, a new program, new workout clothes. I know a lot of people that are getting new socks even. You don't have to spend a lot of money, and you really don't have to spend money at all. But get excited about something that you have, a tool or something, because you would never imagine how much this, for example, ladies, a new sports bra, how exciting is that when you have that and you're working out with it, you're like, oh man, this is amazing. I can do so many great workouts with this. So number 4, find something to get excited about. Number 5, have a success and attach yourself to that feeling. So any success, large or small. I would say, the smallest success that you could probably have when you're trying to grow your business is getting somebody to respond to one of your messages. How many people have gone through days where they reach out to people and nobody answers them? It's pretty intimidating. But that one person that says hi back, that's a small success. That's awesome. You've connected with a new person. And whether it's a Success Club point or a new coach, remember that feeling that you get when you sign them, or when you join them, or when you help someone new meet their goal, or if you even have 1 pound lost or towards your goal. Those are small successes that you need to attach to and remember that feeling and know, oh man, I cannot wait to have that feeling again. So number 5, have that feeling of success, and have that success and attach yourself to that feeling. Number 6, don't ever stop. And this should probably be number 1 too, but as a coach, sometimes you compare yourself to other coaches. There's a lot of coaches in here in this group that have gone and built their business really super fast. I'm not one of those people. I grew fast at first, and then I have kind of coasted, and I have done my own thing, and I'm getting there, and now I really kind of want it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome, but then I still kind of coast a little bit. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Everybody goes at their own pace. It might take you longer to go where you want to be, but you'll get there as long as you stick with it. It's not, who joins first. They say that you got to join first. It's not who joins first. It's who sticks with it. Because honestly, there have been coaches. Lindsay, I think that you actually in the first year or year and a half of your business, you weren't, growing as much as you were after the 18-month mark to 2-year mark. I mean, if I remember correctly, you started around that time. And everybody goes at their own pace, but you just have to stick with it. And look at her now. It's been 4 years that you've been a coach, so pretty amazing. So that's number 6. Don't ever stop. Stick with it. Number 7, find new inspiration. So whether that's an idea from a new coach or a veteran coach or a post that you really like, gain inspiration from that. Try not to compare yourself to that coach, but just gather that information. Aubrey does a really great job in DFG of this, because she has some really creative posts, and Courtney Grill has some really amazing posts too. They are the prime people that I find inspiration in when I'm looking at a new post idea. And you can also find things from Pinterest, or even just read something uplifting can inspire you. You know, if you're really down one day and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't really know what to think or how to feel, just read something uplifting and you would never even imagine how your attitude changes. So that's number 7, find your inspiration. So number 8, find new goals. This has been something that our coaches and our team have done a lot of, and I've been trying to push this. I'm very goal-oriented. For example, I know a lot of people aren't as much, and that's kind of my learning curve, but whether it's a financial goal, if you say in 2016, I want to make $2,000 a week, or $500 a week, or even 15, so I can go to the movies every single week, you know, that's a financial goal. Physical goal, I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to lose 5 inches. I want to actually run a marathon, things like that. Or emotionally, like, for example, I have started going back to church. Andy, I have you in my back of my head again, you know, but those are kind of things that will propel you, to motivate you to grow and be a better person. If you have a goal in mind, you know not necessarily how to get there, but you know where you're going and where you're headed and what you're working for. A lot of people say, find your why. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm one of those people that don't really know what my why is, and I think that's okay. It's taken me about 1.5 years to get to that realization and acceptance. But, you know, if you think you know where you're going and you know, have a goal in mind, I think it's a lot easier to get there. So, for example, I have big goals for 2016, and I know I will get there because it's something, a deadline that you put in place. So that's number 8, find new goals. Number 9, do something fun. I took this from Lindsay's. I asked her for a couple of ideas. But do something fun. Do something new. Try something that you haven't done before. You know, go somewhere that you haven't been. Take a picture of something you haven't taken a picture of. Be fascinated by something new. Like, just do something fun, whether it's by yourself, with your family, and, you know, enjoying that moment, because a lot of us, myself included, let life get in the way sometimes, and we kind of lose sight of some things that are important. And I will be the first to admit that sometimes I am so deep into my technology, talking to people on Facebook, messaging people about my challenge group, that I'm completely losing sight of what's going on around me. Like, Anthony will be playing with barley, and he's like, oh, look at this. I'll be like, yeah, that's great. I'm not the best at attention span, but just do something fun is number 9, if I can put up the right amount of fingers. And then number 10, this is my last point that I'll say, but it's probably the most important out of all of them. Number 10 is just do it. It'll become a habit if you do it. I cannot tell you how many times I have said I was going to do something, or somebody else is going to say that they're going to do something, and then they just don't. And it's not like we have any excuses, but honestly, if you do it, then you're going to be amazed that you did it, or that you even tried. And then that's going to be another, going back to one of the other points, you're going to have success when you try something. And they say that 21 days is what it takes to create a new habit. And that's mostly with like a health or nutrition habit. But I would say it also comes with your business too. It takes 21 full days for your mind to create a new habit. And I think if you do more stuff in your business, even if it's going back to the basics, or even just posting once a day on social media at the lowest, starting with day 1, you're going to be amazed at how much you get done just by doing it. And I wouldn't overthink anything by doing it either. Just do it. Just get on the computer, email who you want to, call who you want to, and just don't even think about what you're doing. Just dial the phone and be like, oh my gosh, I'm actually on the phone with the person now. So that is number 10. So just do it. So it's 9:25. I talked really fast. And I guess overall, I just want to tell you that it's really, this business has a really amazing amount of joy in it. I cannot tell you how many businesses, companies I've been a part of where that sense of positivity and encouragement isn't there. And this has been the one staple of my life in the last year and a half, where if I do need that extra pick-me-up, I just go online to DFG or even anybody in this group and I say, hey, can you help me? And they're like, yeah, definitely, I'm so excited. And that's amazing. And that's one of the reasons why this is such an important topic to me, because I guess to back up a little bit, Lindsay said she wanted us to host the calls. And I thought, gosh, I can't host a call. I don't know what to talk about. But then I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, I've quit a few times, like mentally. I've stuck as a coach, but I've like mentally kind of checked out. But I always bounce back and I always look forward to something new. And I never lose sight of the fact that I'm in it for the long haul. This is not a quick fix for me. And that's why I'm okay with going a little bit slower. And that's why I think that you guys should also understand that everybody goes at their own pace. And I've said that like probably 10 billion times during this call, but I cannot say it enough that don't compare yourself to the other coaches. That's one of the biggest holes that I get into. It's like, oh my gosh, this person became diamond in a month. And what am I doing over here? Just like kind of hanging out, doing nothing. But be you, enjoy what you do, and just, have fun with it. Because like Lindsay said a while ago, it's like, if this business isn't fun, you probably wouldn't be doing it at all. So, but that's all I had. I kind of wanted to open up the call because I know everybody has somewhere to be. It's the holidays. Christmas is just around the corner. I wanted to open up to anyone who has a question because it's 9:30. It'll give us maybe 20 or 30 minutes if anyone did have anything.
I appreciate this call, and I appreciate you keeping the time down because it is in respect of a lot of people. I do try to keep the call to 30 minutes, and I end up getting on a tangent and talking for another 30. But that was fantastic, and I do just want to piggyback on a couple of your points. Okay, and then Laura Cusser says, I feel like this call was made for me. Thank you so much. We're going to I'll post the recording. Jennifer asked that. I missed the last 4 points due to mischievous kids. Hey, again, life. I'll post the recording. I just wanted to say in the beginning, yes, okay, I started pregnant and I started out of the gate really fast. And I signed 6 people, the first day I signed up, I signed 6 people. I'm like, okay, man, this is going to be great. And then I started getting pushback. Those people weren't doing anything. And then I was kind of like losing my momentum. I made a conscious decision to slow down. But I love what you said about like when you're in it for the long haul, those little things just don't matter. Someone quits, someone returns something, someone buys from Amazon, someone goes to someone else. None of that ever mattered to me because I knew that this was my end all be all, honestly. I knew that this was going to be my bridge. I shouldn't say end all be all because I have much bigger dreams and much more that I need to do. But I knew that it was going to be the bridge to my financial security, basically. So if you can get that, if you can just say that in your head, that this is it, this is what I'm going to do in order to reach all of my life goals, I think the obstacles you run into become far less meaningful because you weigh it against the amazing things that can happen. And if you weigh anything that could happen against the possibilities, that anything becomes very small. And I'm talking about obstacles from other people. I'm not talking about life stuff, cancers and people dying, things like that. That's always going to be big and important, and that may knock you off your game for a long time. And hey, I would respect that in a heartbeat. Okay. So, love that. Implant that in my head. This is my everything. This is my ticket. If I can say my meal ticket, my golden ticket, whatever you want to say. Plant that in your head, make that your bottom line. And then all the things that come at you is not going to have you submit a cancellation request. Okay. I know you're seeing a lot of cancellation requests right now. That person didn't make this they didn't make this their bottom line, period. Not your fault.
Piggyback of what you said is that's been one of the biggest lessons for me to learn. What you just said is that I have signed coaches, I have signed challengers that I'm like, oh my God, you're gonna be awesome at this. I can't wait for you to get started. We're gonna be amazing. We're gonna be millionaires together. And then they quit. Like, what's going on? I thought they were gonna be amazing with me, and then they didn't do anything. You can't attach yourself to anybody else. You can't want this for anybody else. You have to lead with whoever wants to run with you, and then leave the others behind. You will always have an open hand for them and say, join me if you want to, but this business is not for people who don't want it. You have to want it, and you can't want it for anybody else. And that's been one of the hardest things for me. I think I probably should have put that on the list too. It's just like, some people, you just can't prejudge anybody. You can't prejudge if they're going to say a no or a yes to this business, and you can't prejudge if they're going to stick with it or not. You just can't.
Dear Lord, I know, man, brilliant. I've never actually even thought about that enough to verbalize it. But yes, fantastic point, Courtney. I used to do the same thing. Someone signed up, I'd message my coach, oh my gosh, I just signed the next Wayne Wyatt. Like, I think of one guy in particular. Or, oh my gosh, I just signed the next. They're going to be awesome. And 9 times out of 10, I was disappointed. So now I just let people surprise me. I sign everyone up thinking that they're going to be mediocre like I was. Honestly, I do. And then when someone surprises me, I'm like, okay, what's up now? Let's get serious. They're doing this. I haven't even begged them to do it, and that's what you're going to learn. You're going to sign up people that do something. You're going to sign up with people who say they're going to do all these amazing things and do nothing. It's usually the silent ones that do awesome. Oh, yeah. Honestly, like the squeaky wheel gets the oil or whatever that saying is. That's kind of how it is. Like the person the silent people that don't beg for your time and your knowledge. They look it up on their own. They don't cry to you every time something bad happens because they've already made a deal with themselves internally. This is the thing. Like, I'm not going to blame anyone. I'm not going to beg my coach to talk me up so much to where I stay. You just stay and you just do it.
Who is that?
Right?
She got the call last week. It was, I want to say Rayla or Raya or something. What's her name?
Is she in a network?
She's the top coach. Like, she just became 10 or 15 star or something. And
Anita? Raina? Odell? Okay.
Raina, right?
Yeah.
She is a prime example of that. And Mindy Winder, like they consider themselves as very, very shy, inverted people. But on social media and on Facebook and in their business, they feel like they can make themselves who they want to be. And they have created this personality that they love about themselves, which has stuck. And now in person, they're like that too. It's like, fake it till you make it, she said on the call last week or something. But like, the quiet people in person are sometimes like the most amazing people because this opportunity allows them to come out of their shell and specialize in something that they wouldn't normally have thought that they would. It's pretty cool. And then sometimes the most outgoing are the most quiet, which are weird. It's like, it's so weird how people react to this.
Right. I mean, this business will push you outside of every comfort zone. It will make you realize, whoa, maybe I'm not who I thought I was. I mean, you learn so much about yourself, honestly. You learn who you are as a leader. You learn who you are when it comes to failures. You learn when it comes to push comes to shove. What do? Do you buckle or do you keep going? It's crazy, but it's enlightening and it's awesome. And you're going to just grow so much. I just have one other point, and then we can either – I don't see any other questions, but if you have any, shoot them out there. Just about your number one, just do it, just taking action. I don't know who can agree with me, but when you have like a mile-long to-do list and you basically just want to go take a nap, because A nap would be so much easier. You don't have to think about all that stuff. It's overwhelming. There's anxiety wrapped up in that to-do list. But 9 times out of 10, well, actually 10 times out of 10, I need to quit saying that so much. If you just get started, if you just take an action step, if you just do it, it's no longer this task swell. It's like, okay. And that re-energizes you, and it gives you a little more confidence to just keep going, because you've thought about how you need to do all these things for so long that they've become like this, when you really just need to get your to-do list and take it one at a time and mark it off when you're done and move on. And if one is a little too overwhelming, I do find that I skip it, or you could eat that frog and do it first. But I don't want you to have such an overwhelming one to begin with that you don't do it. Just do something on your list so you can mark it off, energize yourself, give yourself a little bit of confidence, like, wait, I can do this. And then, bam, you're back in the game. Just take it. Love that.
What I've learned is that, like, so for many of you, I don't know if you know this, but I am in furniture sales. So I work like 50, 60-hour weeks outside of this business, or maybe like first, then I do this on the side. But basically what they say is that, like, your attention span can only do 3 to 7 tasks every single day, whether it's like personal or work wise. So what I would say, if you have a task list, like I have 2 task lists every single day for work and for everything. The one list is a master list. So everything that I think of, everyone that I think of goes on this one list, and it's huge. But if I was to take that every single day and look at this huge list, I'm like, I get really overwhelmed to the point where I don't want to do anything on it, and I just kind of do something else. Take 3 things a day, whether it's like, your 3 vital behaviors or 3 things on that list, and move it to a shorter list so that all you look at that morning are those 3 things. Once you cross those 3 things out, go revisit your master list and maybe add 2 to 3 more things onto your shorter list. But that will help your mind, go a little bit slower, and it will make you a little bit more focused. I like is that Tracy down there? How do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. I love that. Oh,
true.
Easy.
So true.
I am reading these as we go along, but yeah, I mean, it's baby steps sometimes, and sometimes you can take a big gulp, but it's really, sometimes just at least getting into a routine, you can go baby steps. You don't want to take a big leap. You just want to, and it's okay to take baby steps. It really is. Don't let anybody else tell you it's not.
That's right. And one of your number 8, set new goals. We're in that perfect time to set new goals, and that's one of the things to get you out of the funk. So new year brings a lot of exciting stuff. So make sure you have your vision boards made, your goals established, written down, declared, proclaimed, and I'm excited. I'm excited for you. This is a great call. Thank you, Courtney.
Don't be afraid to ask people what their goals are. Just go up and tell them. Like, I think many of you have seen how I approach people. I totally think that those are still my main points, even to this day after a year and a half of being coach. I still am very blunt. I'll say, what are your goals? And they'll say, what do you mean, what are my goals? Don't be afraid to ask those questions, because it gets them talking. But just, it's okay when life happens. Don't beat yourself up for it. For example, like, we're traveling tomorrow for the next 2 weeks, and my business will probably go a little bit slower, but I'm still in it. You just have to think, why are you in this? If it's for the long haul, it's okay to slip up sometimes. It's okay to put life first. That's why this business is there. That's the whole main point overall. And I've been watching myself. I keep talking with my hands. Sorry about that.
All good.
But thank you for letting me talk.
Thank you. Thank you so much, especially with everything that you have going on. So I really appreciate it. And you had some great info. Everyone loved the call. If you got a chance to read through the comments. Well, I love you, and I love all of you guys, and I appreciate it. Merry Christmas. Mm-hmm. I hope that is wonderfully blessed, and I hope you get to spend a lot of time with family and friends and just love on the people in your life, okay? And we're going to convene after the holiday and get excited about the new year, because we got a lot of things to be excited about.
And if nobody has thought of it like this yet, every single one of us can be number 1 coach as of January 1st. Just carry that on to your new year.
True that.
Everyone is
all start at 0.
That's so exciting. So,
Awesome.
thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for getting on. Thank you, Courtney, for a great call. I'm going to stop recording.